201, no, or 201 filing is one of the things that they are very much concerned about. And of course, I'm very, very much, I can relate, no, with this one because of course, if you're part of a small, HR team, but you have to monitor, no, and at least to accommodate 100 or even 1,000 number of employees. I know that could be pretty much staggering, no, to keep track everything and of course to update it anytime and anywhere, especially right now. Now, if you're very much into manual pa rin with this time, I know 2-1 filing then is pretty much time consuming for your end. Others have answered, okay, tracking and monitoring, no, for timekeeping concerns and summary then for the month. Alright, so of course, it's very, very much prevalent then, no, to companies that, of course, they are still doing manual pa rin during this time. A lot of HR then have to really manually input, extract the time logs. That's actually the practice of other companies na wala pa rin system. So they do it manually pa rin, extraction from the time logs, from the biometrics, and then they have to input it to Excel file just to monitor then the time in and the time out of their employees. But of course, again, considering the number of employees that you have within the company, especially if it's a really, really big amount or number, I very much understand your end if really will consume most of your day then. Okay, so upon checking here, others have also answered payroll computations, especially then for compliance to the governmentals. Great answer actually. Of course, payroll is very, very much crucial, we really have to take into consideration the allowances, the deductions that we have then to employ or to apply then with our employees. And bearing the number of employees, I know if you have many benefits, you have many deductions that you have to consider too. It's really, really time consuming on the end of the HR, especially right now, during this time of pandemic. A lot of us might have some difficulties in terms of the visibility of our benefits and yung mga certain deductions that we have to employ, especially then if they don't have then of course yung filing for the timekeeping applications. Yung ibang companies, they are still doing it manually, they have to fill out, employees have to fill out a piece of paper just to let her manager or supervisor or HR team know that he'll be taking a leave on this day or he'll be doing some overtime on this day. So when we are into this kind of setup na a work from home or a hybrid setup, of course baka certain policies din talaga natin would be changing din. And somehow, if ever na hindi pa din, of course, sanay si employee for this kind of setup, I know even yung HR natin would really have difficulties pa rin to track and to monitor din, especially yung mga computations natin din for the payroll. Okay, and I think one last answer here, as mentioned by the team, of course, generating reports, that is applicable to our company's requirements. I agree, some of our owners, for the companies, the management, they will not always require them from us. Reports, of course, reports for 201 filing, the manpower movement, any employee listing, employee schedule, timekeeping concerns, and even up to the payroll part, I mean, really have to ensure then specifically the HR that they have a report that they can be able to present within the team anytime then. Of course, during this time of pandemic, a lot of companies have really did some cost cutting for their expenses. So at least on your end, the management then would really want to have that specific report for them to be able to make vital decisions for the company. And I know, as part of the HR, of course, bearing the amount of work that we have, apart from the administrative part, really also inclined to doing strategic tasks.
When I was listening to Ira, I just realized there's so many functions that HR people have to do. And this confirms the fact that I've been saying this all along my career. You guys understand, I work in the world of HR people. That's what I've been doing leadership trainings all over the place. And so I've always been saying HR people are some of the most overworked, underpaid, underappreciated people in any business organizations. I don't know if you're going to agree with me. As a matter of fact, to prove to you the point, every time there's a problem that happens, ano po yung favorite expression ng mga bosses? Ano ang ginagawa ng HR? Ang dami nga eh. Just take a look at the automated functions and the features being presented. That means you guys are handling so many things. And that is so important. Well, let me explain. There are things that will change. The methods will change, but the mission remains the same. And I'll expound a little bit on this. So, let me explain. 2020 will be a transition year. And you and I need to consciously and intently check in to this new year. Why? Because what we have today is no longer a continuation of the past. So many things have changed. And so we need to be alert with the developments. Rather than just grinding through the present, we need to begin to shape our future. Consider other developments. Again and again, I will never tire of saying this, digital is now the new default. We are entering a contactless economy. When COVID-19 broke, what we were doing last year were not innovations, they were mere adaptations. But what you and I are now doing should be in the face of innovation, and we should do something that Gary Hamel has been pounding on us now. Gary Hamel is a business guru who says, today, as leaders and decision makers, you need to have two things. You need to have innovation and you need to have initiative.